Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Grandest Adventure. It is May 25th, 2021, and it's a lovely evening in paradise. Why don't, Ryan, you take it off with the recap?
Yes, yes. Where we left off, where we started was right in combat, right in the thick of it. Um, so we continued to fight. I'm only remembering Cecil. What was the guy we fought's name?
Donatello.
Rathar?
Oh, yeah,
Rathar.
it's Rathar.
Rathar. It's very forgettable because how much we just whooped his ass. Um,
There and then gone in an instant.
so we were in a fight with Rathar where we that's about what's happened. We were kicking his ass, and then Cecil came to his aid, and they pretty much like merged into one. But this was already where the point where Philo had him wrapped around in the chain of power, so them merging into one didn't really do anything. They were just still tied up the whole time. As we beat him to the point where Merrick was able to rip this mask off of Rathar, which we're assuming is the darkness that was sealed away with him with the chain, but now Merrick ripping it off basically removed that darkness, it seems like. Um, so most of last time was that combat. But now that we have the chain of power, we still don't exactly have much of a plan as to what we're gonna do now. Now that we have it, but we headed out to leave the temple. Where heading down the stairs, we saw a very large raven also heading down, and there is a giant airship that I think Merrick saw in the bottom of Glass Lake. So now we are heading down to probably check that out and see if we get another sight of this raven. Does that about sum it up?
I think you got all of it, right? See, we're getting a little feedback on your mic.
I think that the way Merrick interpreted it would be that we're going down to meet the Raven Queen. Like that seems to be what is happening. Since we were in the Feywild, or we were in a bubble that kept us out of time or something. I don't really understand how it was.
I believe Rathar described it as he wedged this place between the halfway between the Feywild and the Prime Material Plane.
Yeah, let's fucking open it right up. I don't know how. Maybe we're gonna fly a fucking airship through it.
All right, so y'all are at the
It was like an enormous Raven.
what?
Like the Raven that we saw was like giant.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a pretty big raven.
Yeah. Okay. Merrick's pretty convinced he knows what's going on at this point.
Yeah, and you guys are at the top of the stairs. The clouds that were like blown away temporarily seem to be like coming back and settling back in around up here. So the floor is your guys.
You guys see that airship down there on the lake? I want to understand how that thing works. Now that's moving. That's something that we can use against pollution. And I did not mean to rhyme just then.
I mean, yeah, if we get that, we'll definitely be able to keep ahead of them.
keep ahead of them. We could run that fucking thing right into them.
Well,
I believe
well,
we have
Hey man, the
prior
capital.
engagement.
Hey man, the capital have airships as well. So I don't know about just running into them.
You're right. We're gonna need some explosives. Merrick, what do you think?
I think there's something more pressing that we will need to attend to first.
You're
What's that?
talking about the big bird.
I wouldn't let her catch you calling her that, but yes.
Well, I mean, let's get after it, right? And I start marching down the steps. Is this bird? Is the Raven Queen right in front of us, Greg? Where's she at? What do we got before us?
Oh, she flew down. You saw her before. She just kind of sailed sword on.
All right. So, I mean, I'm ambling down the steps. I don't know about you guys.
So to be clear,
Same.
you guys did not take a long rest after that fight.
Oh, I mean, can we long rest on a set of stairs?
Not when you're moving. You can plop your ass down for an hour for a short rest,
Well,
or overnight for a long rest.
I mean,
if I ride on Philo's back and don't do anything, I should get a short rest. I
well,
need to sleep.
how many? Where's my? Greg, could you possibly see how much health I had on the other page? I wasn't doing it in my character sheet. I was doing it on the label. There you are, buddy. What do you got? Oh, 19. How many hit dice I have? I mean, I'm down for just a short rest.
Same.
All right, I'm gonna roll some hit dice, and then I say we get after the Raven Queen. Garrett, yeah, we can hear you. What do you think we should do? Give me that good Merrick content.
Oh, I said that if I was right, I guess we're all going to short rest anyways, but if I'm being carried by Philo for an hour and I'm not doing anything, I should get a short rest. Because I don't sleep.
Like it.
Y'all took damage? I don't think I took damage again.
You didn't. I ran in front of you when he was charging at you.
If you were in a wagon being pulled, I would let you short rest. While being carried, no way. That shit is not restful.
What if I'm cradling him?
It's still, if you're cradling him and walking very slowly.
All I need to be doing is light activity. I can read my book and rest.
No. Sorry. All right.
Oh my god, you're just nerfing me left and right. Everything I try to do, nerf.
I
Garrett, we
I
are
would not
short
let
resting.
anybody fucking be carried in short rest. Just because you don't have to sleep doesn't mean you can get restful from being carried around.
We are also short
Absolutely
resting,
not.
and I'm not short resting on Philo, so we're waiting 30 minutes regardless.
I don't need to be doing restful things. I can do light activity like write a novel or something. That's not restful, but I get to rest because I have a boon from a fake deity.
Can you actually send me the text of it?
Didn't you basically become half god? How are you being nerfed? What do you mean?
I got one laser eye shot, and that was all.
You just turned into a warlock. What is this ability? Could you just post it in here?
Trying to find it.
We're looking for the citations, bro.
Yeah.
Parentheticals.
Let me see what the book says.
called aspect. It's called aspect of the moon. It's in Xanthars.
Aspect of the moon?
Yeah.
It's an eldritch
Can't
invocation.
find-
You no longer need to sleep and can't be forced to sleep by any means. To gain benefits of a long rest, you can spend all 8 hours doing light activity, such as reading your Book of Shadows and keeping watch.
Yeah, this says
That
nothing about a
speaks
short
to
rest.
long rest specifically. Nothing about short rest.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with your long rest bullshit. I'm arguing with nobody could be rested while being carried.
Oh,
If you were being pulled in a wagon, I told you a totally different story.
I won't say that it's necessarily
You
restful,
can't
but I will say the
infer
experience
that
of
if
being
I can
carried
do
by
it for
Philo
8 hours.
What
I
if
can do
I
it
was
for
being
1 hour.
carried in a pocket spa?
It doesn't say short rest anything there. So
Here's the thing. I'm short resting for 30 minutes. I'm not going to be carried by Philo, so it really doesn't matter.
All right, I'll just pick something different then.
what are you talking about? That has nothing to do with a short rest at all.
I'll just pick a different invocation.
You don't sleep
I-
for an
I'll
hour
pick
when you
something
short
different.
rest. You know that, right?
I'll pick something different. I'll pick a different invocation. Don't worry about it. I'll do it later. It doesn't affect us right now.
All right, so we're heading down the steps after a short rest.
Alrighty. Hold on 1 second.
Boy.
All right, so as you guys are heading down the steps, you start to realize that as like the clouds start to like close in behind you, and they are just kind of like centered on the mountaintop itself. So it's much quicker for you guys to go down than it was up the mountain. So you get further away from the top of the. You don't actually aren't completely submerged in the clouds. They kind of just like gently flow in behind you, which is nice. But I do remember it took us like 2 days to get up there, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Uh,
Because I rolled stuff to see how far I could make it.
yeah. So it's going to be a whole lot easier to go down than it is up.
Oh yeah.
So you guys make about a double time getting down there. It's about, you actually do notice by the time you get to the bottom of the stairs, the sun has moved. Not
Gonna ask.
super far in the sky, but it has started to move. And you kind of can see a sort of like semi-translucent barrier like off, and you kind of assume that's where you like crossed into Glass Lake.
Is it like a translucent or like a iridescent sort of like?
In like the beginning, you barely noticed it, but as the day carried on, you started to like see it more and more.
Got sort of like the more time you spend around it, the better you're at it, like perceiving it.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Treat. Fucking 24 critical
So-
success.
You surmise that it is
Give me the Merriam-Webster.
as like the sun travels through the sky. That's it starts to get more translucent because you guys, if you remember, I believe it was like dusk when you guys got in here, if I'm remembering correctly.
When we came in,
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes, it's like dusk or nighttime.
it was like, yeah, it was definitely full darkness.
So as the sun gets closer to where its position was when you entered here, that's when you can like kind of start to see the barrier more and more. and as it's you guys reach the bottom of the stairs, as it's the sun is like starting to set, and the barrier is kind of like just glowing brilliantly in the evening sun. But you still find you guys are tired because you have had a really long day, but you're not. You feel kind of energized. That was kind of like a brutal slug, but you guys feel kind of energized from that walk down, because this whole time, the falls have actually been flowing down around you, and it's maybe gotten on you a few times, but this place just feels a little more alive now, and you didn't know that was quite possible because this felt like a pretty sweet place. You were in here originally, but now that the falls are going again, now you know where they got their namesake, because when you get towards the bottom of them, they are just like they're booming every couple minutes, like distant thunder.
Can I reach the falls from the stairs?
Oh yeah, you like the stairs like wind back and forth down the mountain. So yeah.
Could I snag like a vial of the water?
Of course. Yeah. You want to fill like your water skin up, or just get
Yeah. Does it seem to have like restorative properties?
In spirit, you feel restored. Like it's definitely keeping your hopes up.
Interesting.
But it's not like a seal your wounds back. Like your bruises aren't disappearing. But you're like,
Yeah,
man, that was a good earned bruise though.
Nice.
But yeah, so you guys are you occasionally have seen this large raven. You saw it the last time you saw it. You figured it was about halfway between the base of the stairs and the barrier out, and you guys figure you could reach there and still have a little bit of light if you haul ass.
Figure we haul ass.
Yeah, I mean, did we see the Raven Queen fly out of here?
No, you saw her like land halfway between the barrier and where you got to the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to book towards it, but I think we should keep an eye out for her, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. Let's do that.
All right.
Because that's where it seems like she's heading anyway, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check for me, all of y'all. All right.
Well done.
I know I'm all jacked up. I never rolled my D1000.
Merrick, you notice that you've been in here for a few days, but now for the first time you kind of really realized you feel like the wind is starting to like blow against your face as you like descended these stairs. So like there's these like the leaves of these trees are just like gently there's a little bit of wind blowing in here now when there wasn't any at all when you guys first came in here.
There's just wind now. That's what I get with a 20.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah, because this place was pretty frozen in time, is what I'm presuming. Now it's not. The sun's moving,
the barrier,
winds are blowing,
right,
things are growing.
Seems like this was frozen in time, right? Or like there's like like things never changed, but now they are. So if it was like time locked or something, it's untime locked.
Right, but we were told that was going to happen. Just something. It's like something that he would like say out loud or anything is what I'm getting at. I feel like if Merrick assumes that everybody understands that the sun not moving thing is going to stop, and like, that's what Rathar told us, right? That it was going to get unwedged.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's still like interesting to see all the things happening at once, and it's like, I get what you're saying. While we like, it's expected, but it's still incredible for like Philo to see. I mean,
Philo
remember,
didn't see.
like my kid. I mean, well, didn't see that, but I mean, I see that the sun's moving now, right? I see that stuff is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the wind you don't
So
notice.
things are changing now. So like everything that's happening is fucking crazy to Philo. Like it's not none of this is normal. She was a fucking high school kid 3 months ago. So it's like you can expect everything, but I mean, or what maybe Merrick does, it like expects it, but like it's not. The stuff isn't shocking to Merrick, but to Philo, these different little things.
I
Would
gotcha.
be...
Okay, so you guys are now hustling to get towards where you thought you saw the Raven Queen land. You are going to. You guys are kind of like hustling through the. It's starting to get a little bit woody in here, because there was a little bit of open plains near the Glass Lake itself. But you guys are just kind of hustling into where the woods, where you thought you saw her land. And you're running in there for a couple minutes. The light is slowly starting to fade. Who is in the lead?
I believe I said I started just ambling down the stairs, so I'll be in the lead.
All right, roll a survival check. I believe is what it is.
Yeah, I'm bad at that. Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's a pretty good one. You are running through the woods. You notice you pass this one pretty cool looking pine tree. It had like this the fork halfway up the middle of it, and you noticed it like when you ran past it. And then you're like going for a minute or two in the same direction, and then you run past that same tree.
Oh,
And like with that 18, you know it's not like a tree that looked like it. It is that exact tree, and you're like, you've been going. You haven't looped around.
I stop and look at Merrick and Philo and say, "Now, I spent a lot of years working on them forges, and they always said that they make you go a little loopy. But I've seen that fucking tree before. There is something here that does not want us to leave.
Yeah, you probably saw it on our way up, right?
Nope. I'm saying we have ran past that motherfucker twice.
Once on our way up, once now.
Wait, we're not on the stairs anymore.
No, you haven't.
No.
Nope.
We're running through the woods.
Oh, so now okay.
Oh.
Yeah, like we're running through, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but we are running through the woods on halfway, on our way to the edge of the border.
To where you thought you saw the raven.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we ran by the same tree twice. There's a split, and we run by the same one twice. Now I got, I guess, a idea. We could always try going the other way. But if there's
Mayor sends Yada into the sky.
oh, look, there goes the bird.
So yeah, you send Yada up. Are you like doing the whole thing where you like watch through his eyes, or are you just trying to telepath to him?
Oh, he's just gonna. I was just thinking he just flies overhead and gives us a straight, as the crow flies, they say straight path, and then he's kind of low, and he's in front of us, so we can see him. We're just gonna follow him.
Okay. I would just want to let you. Okay. So. Okay. Cool.
So I guess he could see if we're like teleporting back or something like that.
Yeah. Definitely. You can. I feel like you can just barely kind of see him. When he flies on up. And like you kind of like telepathically, give him these directions and instructions. And then as you guys like he is about to he flies off, in like the straight kind of angle towards, where you guys want to run. And you start to run after him. And just as you do, out from behind that forked tree steps a female elf with gray toned skin, these dark, dull, purple eyes, and jet black hair. She's wearing this sort of dark, feathered armor with looks like dark steel or dark links underneath of it.
Tries to stand up a little taller and tries to suck in his stomach a little bit and says, greetings and well met, my lady. With that sort of awkwardness.
Philo readies her axe. She doesn't know who this is.
She's just sitting and watching. Merrick, what do you do before? Oh, by the way.
I guess I'll wait for this text or whatever.
Oh, it's the music.
Oh. So Merrick has this thing called Fey Presence. It's like a combat ability, but I don't want to charm or frighten her. I just want to exude my Feyness.
Yeah, okay, I get it. You're just trying to put a little, blow your shine out a little bit. You're just hey, you're flexing your Fey muscles.
Yeah, just just kind of it's kind of puffing up your fur if you're a dog,
All right.
Make yourself look bigger.
Okay.
Kind of thing. It's meant to intimidate, but also identify us as Fey related.
Definitely.
She's an elf.
So, she says, very dryly, "You're a long way from home." There's no need to have your blades drawn. I'm just here to talk.
And who might you be?
She looks at Torek. She looks at Merrick. She looks back at you and she says, "You're not the sharpest axe in the shed, are you, hun?"
I've run into a lot of people lately, and none of them have been good towards me, so...
She points at Merrick, and she says, "He knows who I am." He points to Torek. Or she points to Torek and says, "He knows who I am."
Merrick, is this her?
"I think you too know who I am."
Torek is sort of looking at
I mean,
Philo
we
and
may know who
mouthing
you
out,
are.
Raven Queen.
All right, so Merrick's gonna address her and say, "We may know who you are, but we do not know of your intentions yet. For all we know, we could still be in danger.
My intentions are the same as they always have been. I intend to keep balance in this world. There's a great darkness coming, and I intend to stop that from happening. I figure you want to see the same?
Jorik's like kind of nodding his head at the other two, being like, "That, I mean, that, yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to do, yeah."
Of course, that's what we want. And from what I've heard about you, and I hold out the chain of power, you created these objects. You know where they were. How have you let it get this far?
Well, to be completely honest, I figured this one would be safe here.
Wait a minute. Your Highness, I have a question.
Yes, little one.
You created these weapons. Now, I'm sure you're very familiar with the Forges of Feral Doom and how long they've sort of told for. I've seen a good couple 100 years of that, and I know a thing or two about making things, but I've also unmade some things. There are forces here that are trying to access the Feywild and the power that resides there. Could we permanently cut this world off from that if we unmade one of these weapons, like the Chain of Power?
The issue, I love the way you think. Torik, you said your name was, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The issue with that plan is if we unmade this weapon, this artifact now, the seal would remain in its weakened state. We need to re-strengthen the seal, rebind it, if you would.
And I'm assuming for that we are going to need all of them?
On the contrary, we just need a singular one.
Like this one here?
She's eyeing it. Yes, like that one there. I see it wasn't so hidden as I thought.
It was not easy to find, ma'am. To be fair, it was pretty well hidden.
Did you slay its guardian?
One could say we restored balance.
We didn't kill him.
Are you guys going to tell her what happened?
This is out of character.
I think we would tell her everything, yeah.
Are you guys going to tell her everything, or are you going to lie about it?
I think we should be honest.
Well, now that he's presenting the option, I think there's a reason to lie.
I mean, why not?
There's always the option.
Just the way Torik said it made me. It was like an innuendo. Are you innuendoing or just being straight and narrow?
I think we should tell her the truth. I spill the truth.
Okay. She says. So I guess like halfway through you guys telling the story, of like how you like, because you tell her you basically just like, cleansed him and like ripped his mask off and shit.
Yeah, I mean, with care. We were careful not to, murder him.
Mm.
We don't need to kill him necessarily. I think Merrick was a major advocate of that, if I recall correctly.
So during that part of the story, she actually turns to you, Merrick, with a very interested look in her face. Um, and she actually says, "Now, where, if you don't mind me asking, did you learn to do that?"
To
I would have thought that one as esteemed as yourself would have already acquired that kind of information.
Sometimes there are many rumors that come to me, but hearing it from the horse's mouth is always the best way to confirm and to see really who is a reliable informant. Don't you agree?
Well, the information has been given to me is on a need to know basis, and from the looks of it, it doesn't seem like you need to know.
Um, so she, at this point, she like looks like starts like really kind of like looking at you, and she says, "Oh, I see. You've been cursed."
wait,
Merritt doesn't respond to that.
Um, she she like holds her hand up, and like a light like kind of like glows out of it, and she like kind of like shines it towards your eye. She's like, "That's the mark right there. Pray tell, do you know the meaning of that mark that has been that brand that's been bestowed upon you?"
I can infer what it's meant to represent.
Because it seems to me,
Context clues and stuff like that, you know.
yeah, you've been marked as a cursed one. I bet you they told you it was some great gift too, huh?
The best curses always are.
And pray tell who, if you do again, if you want to spare this information, who's the one that branded you?
Again, it seems you don't seem to need to know.
Merrick, this is going to be sound like maybe a weird question. Oh, actually, can you guys all roll a
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So, like, do you guys does the whole party know how you got your powers?
I roll a 12 to hear Garrett.
Oh, that's pretty good. I heard him. Does the whole party know like how Garrett got his powers, or Merrick got his powers?
Still not really, kind of.
I mean, I remember what I perceived, but like that was still a lot of shit.
Like Merrick,
Merrick,
Merrick
did
told
you
us
tell?
once before, but he was skipping in and out before, so I still.
Yeah, Merrick, did you tell
Full
your party
story.
members how you got your powers?
I believe I did when I was explaining how I shot the laser and whatnot.
Okay.
Why we were doing what we were doing. I'm pretty sure that was part of it.
All right. Were you guys thinking about how he got his powers when the Raven Queen was talking to him?
I mean, it sounds like he was cursed, and he thought it was a gift from like a benefactor, right? And like I remember him going through some shit, and it was very confusing from the outside perspective.
Because I still feel like I'm missing a
I
lot
mean-
of like the information. Not even like just my character, like me.
Well, we can recap.
Okay.
Like, Merrick, like, understands that it was always going to be, like, a double-edged sword, like, but he's riding pretty cozy right now, like, he's,
I guess my question a little more direct to you. Was Merrick thinking about Lutera and Masag after the Raven Queen asked him that question?
yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
fucker.
hey, you have
Oh, jeez.
you have an extremely powerful, almost godlike being in front of you. Let's be honest.
That's fine.
Since she
Fine.
then says,
Smart.
"Well, I hope you nothing but fortune in your times to come. Just be careful. They're not from our world. They don't think the same as we do. Just be careful."
Is
So,
it reasonable to assume that Mayor can infer what happened,
oh,
that
probably.
his mind was read?
Yeah, they're probably.
Oh, okay.
You could tell she was
I really
leading with questions. I mean, you can roll an insight check to figure out if you know it. If you score anything above a 5, I'm going to say yeah. Because Merrick's done the same thing to people a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Merrick's like, maybe she read my mind. You're pretty positive. All right, do you guys have any more questions for her?
So Merrick.
What?
I was going to retort.
No, go ahead.
With
You
a
can.
little warning.
What were you going to say?
I had something good. I lost it. It's gone. Gone forever.
You hear actually.
No retort.
You hear in your head, Merrick. She said. You hear a voice that says, "Nice try." That was almost a good one.
Merrick's going to think about like butts and farts and like Torque's smelly feet and stuff.
Nice. Nice. Zeke, you don't want the answer to that. Okay, cool. What else is going on? Are you going to talk to her still, or are we going to move the subject along?
So, if we can do it with just one, then how do we do that? What is you have unparalleled knowledge and perspective on the situation at hand, and I would say that our interests are aligned.
Oh dear, flattery
in
will
your-
get you everywhere.
In
Let me be short with you.
please,
I managed to slip in here once I realized the barrier was failing. I couldn't even get inside of here. So you guys must have had some sort of divine intervention to get in. It seems like it. I am constantly being divined and spied upon. It takes me a great deal of effort in order to at least try and slow down that observation. She continues to look up in the sky, and she says, "It still looks like I have just a little bit while I'm under the shield of Rathar. So this is what I believe we should do. I have a disciple. He's about half a day's travel west of here. If you travel about a quarter day run, you descend down the cliffs directly west of here. Then he has a little meeting place that we use that is behind the mountain. That's just off to the west there. You can rendezvous with him, and I will meet you at the seal, the place of sealing, and we can rebind the seal there together. I don't dare risk traveling with you and the chain, because otherwise, I have a good feeling they're going to think it'd be easier for me to find them to find us if I'm traveling with you in it. If I just run out of here after it breaks down, they'll think I have it.
yeah, better to not keep two powerful things together.
And then that way I can at least elude them a little bit. What say you?
Torque looks at the other two, nods, says, "I'm in."
Philo looks at her, looks at the chain, nods, and she says, I'm in as well.
Merrick looks at the both of them, shakes his head, and says, "It's going to be a no for me, dog, but majority rules, so I guess you're going to Hollywood."
What's Hollywood?
Oh, it's this little town. It's in the middle of a forest, but in the town a lot of holly grows, and they call it Hollywood because there's a lot of holly in this one spot in those woods.
Why would we go... Alright, so you're in? I think we're all in.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not a fan. I'm not on board 100% or any percent, but let's go.
Why? What troubles you?
If you don't get your way, you just take whatever you want, like a spoiled child.
Torque's jaw has just dropped.
And you would do something any different? Tell me.
Well, if I was
Tell
you,
me, Merrick.
I just wouldn't have.
What
anyone
would you
take
have
it
done?
in the first place.
No. You tell me what you would have done. You don't know anything about my life, what I've been through, what I've sacrificed. What, would you rather be enslaved?
I think I more than you think you know that I know.
Merrick, to be fair, you were a drunk asshole about 2 days ago.
Um, she's looking at you, Merrick. And you could swear there is literal fire in her eyes. And you hear in your
There's fire in my one eye too.
and you hear in your
I
head,
stare back.
you hear in your head, I would squash you like a bug.
Butts and farts, butts and farts, butts and farts.
Says come or don't. It's your world anyway. And with that, she's going to swing her cloak around, burst into 100 ravens, and fly away.
See, right there. She just contradicted herself. First she tells me that not to trust Lutera because she's not from our world, and then she's like, "Oh, but this is your world." So it's not her world either. She doesn't care. She'll just say whatever she wants to get us to do what she wants us to do.
This is all confusing, Merrick. I don't even know. Is this your world now? Is our world still your world? Look how much you've changed in the past week.
I'm not sure.
And
that
you
the
and you're
world
talking to the
belongs-
Raven
all
Queen
in
like
the
this?
Giant. We're all just caught in some giant game of chess between Belusion, the Capitol, and the Raven Queen. They're all vying for different things. They're each pulling the strings of their own little puppet.
I mean, Merrick, at the end of the day, I mean, Belusion's got an army, and we've got the three of us. At some
the end
point,
of the
we have
day,
got
if
to
the Raven
make
Queen
some
didn't want
allies.
Belusion, if the Raven Queen didn't want Belusion to have one of the items, he would have intervened before he got the first one. If she's so knowledgeable and fucking omniscient or whatever,
So
she's the one
You're
that dropped
saying-
the ball, got us in this mess.
you're saying that because she didn't help us sooner, that you don't want to work with the only one so far who's offered to help us.
What I'm saying is that
But
if
she's
the Raven
she's
Queen
also
had
been
done
by
her
her.
job properly, Sheila would still be in school, like going to college.
She's
and
also been by
naive as
herself.
fuck.
Belusion and the Capitol are not powers to look down on. How would she face them by herself? We've seen it ourselves. I've been to the Capitol. I've seen their power. I've seen what they're using the Raven Queen's people for. They are taking her people and using their blood for their own power. The things they're doing, it can't just be her. We need more people. We need us. We need more people to stand up against this power. How would she stop the Capitol and the City of O's armies by herself? That's what you're saying she should have done?
Well-
She should have stood up against those two great powers by herself?
I'm saying, as an omniscient, godlike being, that she should have rooted out these seeds before they were even planted. How did she come to let her people be captured? Why would you not intervene in Belusion's as
Because
Belusion
of
is
the
coming to
power because of the power they hold. How could she be everywhere at once? She has people all over the world who were taken and used.
The world is a very small island. It's moderately sized at best.
Okay,
Again, you're still asking the same thing of her to take on two armies by herself.
so maybe maybe she didn't have access to the other objects. And maybe now that we've broken in here, this is the first opportunity that she's been able to get her hands on it. And now she's offering her up her help.
And obviously she knows that this power is capable of hurting her in some way. She knows she's being followed. She knows she's being watched. And she's keeping away from that to be able to get help, to guide. I think you're overestimating her power, maybe, or underestimating the power of the capital and Belusion.
I just
this
think
this is my. I
Did
don't
you-
know how to say this like in a way. I guess I'm not getting my point across. So I'm just doing this out of character because I feel like we're going off the rails.
Hmm.
But from like our understanding, he is a demigod with eyes everywhere that sees all. At least around Hilgarth.
Well, I don't know if she's
So-
a demigod that sees all. I mean, she has eyes all over the place, but I don't think she sees all. From my understanding.
Like, I don't know. It seems like assassinating Belusion when he's a child.
Like, I don't think she
Like a
can
baby.
see inside Belusion's planning room right now.
But what I'm saying is that he had, like, the grand scheme of things has watched this for hundreds of years, and like her like lack of intervention into events has led to the capital coming to a rise under whatever fucked up shit they're doing.
But where's
Like,
your thought
if
that,
she
like,
had been pushing things along hundreds of years ago, or even 100 years ago, or 50 years ago, like, and righted the course, we wouldn't have gone this way. And like, her responsibility goes back well before any of the events of our lives have taken place. Any of us.
yeah, I guess
Correct,
that just
but,
would
like,
make
the
for
thing
a very
is-
good D&D campaign.
but the thing is, like, how do we know that what we're against, what she's against, isn't as powerful if there's not someone in the ranks or whatever that's as powerful or more powerful than she is, and could keep those events that they've been,
Straight
keep
up
those
marriage
events
is not
that they've been building up hidden.
what she has said is like the truth. Like,
But like in the basement of the Capitol, like in there, I don't think there's any way she had eyes in there seeing, like.
okay, or the other end of it is that what if the final, like, say that I am right and she does have that power, but she has chosen to let Belusion take this stuff. She came here to get the chain of power, but we beat her to it, and now she's bringing it there to meet Belusion and have it open up because she's got a change of heart on what her founding principles were back 1,000 years ago when she did this.
See, I think it's a
also
change of.
possibility.
I think it's a different thought process because, I think she's definitely super powerful, but I think like the ranking of how powerful you think she is way higher than like what
So
I think.
I guess here's where I'm at: is she wants us to take the chain of power
Like, I don't
and
think she's
to
like
leave, and she's
fucking
gonna go in
god.
the other direction. So like, I
Demigod.
feel like if she wanted the chain of power, she could just fucking take it from us because we unlocked it for her, and she could just swoop in and just take it and then just go. So personally, I feel like we can. I see what you're saying, Garrett. Where like we should just automatically trust her. And I think that's fair. However, I think that we can play along and learn some valuable information, as she has the most information out of anybody about the seal, and maybe we can learn a couple things.
Yeah, we already know she created the seal with the three, and she's the only one that's given. Like, what other route would we take right now? Would we go fight Belusion? Like,
I mean, I said I would go, or Merrick said he would go.
Mhm.
He just doesn't. He's just not like. I mean, there's three of us. Two of you wanted to go. Merrick's not going to ditch. Like, he still sees the value of being with the party, but like, he disagrees. But he's willing to, put that aside and go.
Well, that's what I want to know. Like, when you disagree, I want to know what your other plan is. Like,
Yeah, I guess I'm always down for discussing the options, but also I guess sometimes at a certain point it's nice to just be crystal clear. Is this you saying as Garrett, yeah, sure, let's go do this, but in character, I don't agree? Or is this Garrett saying, no, I don't agree with this and I'm not having fun? Because sometimes it feels like you're not having fun and then it's not fun for anybody. So I just want to sometimes I just want to know if is this Merrick just being like, Merrick doesn't agree because that Merrick wouldn't agree, but he's also like, whatever, you guys want to go, so let's go. Or is this you're like, no, this is a dumb idea and we shouldn't do this at all and I think we should do something else? I guess that's what I really need to know is, do you think we should do something else entirely or are you just role playing?
It's mostly role playing, but you guys are so on board to just go the way that we're told to go. We don't even stop to think about anything else. And
yeah, I'll be honest. My character was looking for the Raven Queen for about 2 years now.
Yeah, I guess, and
Oh, well, actually, not my character. Me.
so I guess, yeah. And so I guess in character, Torek loves to just understand new information. This sort of power is nothing like he's ever seen before. So if there's new information to be shared, he's intrigued, and I think we can use that information however we want.
well,
So I guess,
so this is the fundamental reason why is Merrick does not understand why there's a disconnect between her, Massage, and Lutera. Because this might be from lore or something that I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure Merrick was shown visions of the Raven Queen making he was shown visions from Lutera Massage about the Raven Queen and how she was the little raven and or something like that. And now that she's not only not communicating with them now that they're both free, they haven't gotten in touch at all, and that she's unaware of the events that have transpired to get Merrick to where he is, when Rathar, who was it? Was it Rathar? Yeah, Rathar knew that I was the Scion or whatever, and the Raven Queen is not part of that. That is where Merrick is coming from. Is he is not in the alignment that he was expecting her to be when they met. So he's totally distrustful of her. Does not a single word out of her mouth does not trust, because he had to pry so hard to find out who were my patrons, and then stole the information when I wouldn't share it. It's just so Merrick is fuck her.
I get that, but
Honestly.
like
And,
she said though, you would have done the same thing of stealing the information. And as far as Philo's concerned, she's been looking for the Raven Queen
Right,
for a
but
while. She traveled with one of
should not reality of Merrick.
she traveled with the Shadow a member of the Shadow Cry for a long time. She helped save one of the Shadow Cry from the capital. She saw what was happening to them, and she doesn't think, based off what was happening to her people, that she's on the enemy side.
Right, but the enemy of your enemy is not always your friend. is Merrick's thing. Is like she has an ulterior motive, at
Correct.
least with regards to Merrick, that he is instantly picking up on, and this is like a heebie-jeebies, like any kind of like red flag that you get when you sense imminent danger, like
100%, I agree with that.
Trap.
But like seeing their people distressed, traveling with them for a while, my character being 19-year-old female with -1 intelligence, like I was like, oh, your people are suffering, you're on our side. Boom, I'm with you. Just my character side. You can tell. But I also think
don't like,
out of character that the Raven Queen's positive.
Okay, see now, well, I guess I don't know if Merrick is technically a positive being in this world, but like the Raven Queen and Merrick are not on the same page. Like there is our path, like our goals are totally misaligned. But I also don't have any like way to like any plan for how we would do anything else, because we just got dropped out of a time bubble, or we got unwedged. We got our wedgie picked.
And you guys are also part of this fairy world. I just want to save my world.
So Merrick's never, other than with you, has never been to the Feywild.
Yeah, but now you're like a Fey. You're like our Fey. Right? Aren't you Fey now or something?
It's more fun if close enough, I guess.
That's what I mean. Like,
I don't really know how that
that's
works.
kind of part of like my concern, because it's like, sorry, let me mute and cough for a second. Like, Merrick has all these like new things he's spitting out about like the Feywild and how he's a part of this and stuff like that, and like Terra and Smog and everything that's happened to you, where like I get it, but like to Philo, that doesn't mean much, I guess. It's like to her, it's kind of scary that you've made all these changes. It's not just positive. It's like Philo right now grew accustomed to the Merrick she was used to, and actually began to trust him, even though you were a drunk sly fuck. Now you're this totally different being, part Fey, that she feels like she has to keep an eye on again. Because she has no idea what you really went through.
Which is totally fair. I just, like, we're both, like, role-playing the characters, like, based on their experiences. But
oh, yeah, 100%.
I guess
so, yeah, so I think it's good.
just right now the party is not, like, meshing great, but Merrick's not.
But you're
willing
not backing
to-
out or anything. You're going along and saying fine, but you're being cautious.
Well, where did we say we're going? Over to this cliff here?
West?
On the other side of the...
No,
We're
here.
traveling west to find...
Here is
Yeah,
basically where, behind this little mountain there. So what did I miss anything?
There was a lot of talking.
There was a lot. I wasn't gone for too long. Merrick, you did not misremember the things I told you before, just letting you know. Don't doubt your own memory.
Like he saw the creation of the 3 items, correct?
What you were saying before about how like he saw Lutera Masag and the Raven Queen interacting and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, those you definitely saw those. All right, so what I want to play to tonight is I want to play to you guys getting to her her disciple. I want now and then I want you guys to get to like that little rendezvous point, and then we're just gonna call it kind of here for tonight because I want to play a. We're just gonna do a quick one because I would like our next session, if we can, or our second one after that, to be live. Just because I feel like these kind of conversations would be a little easier when we can all kind of cross chatter, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So. You guys are not too far away from the border. If you go a little bit south, you will hit the border, and then you guys are about a half a day's travel to get to her disciple. The question is that I have for you: are you guys going to long rest for the night, or are you just going to take off?
Tor could use a long rest to get some spell slots back. But it ain't the end of the world.
Yeah, I guess it's up to you two.
Merrick, what do you think?
Phil doesn't need it, but
Merrick's full 100% right now.
All right,
All
let's
spell
just
slots are
go
already
then.
free.
I'm good, Greg.
All right. So.
But also, I don't want to go straight at it. I want to hook around.
So you don't want to go down the cliff. You want to go around it.
She told us to.
Okay, you don't want to go the way she said, right? You want to go a different way.
Like just come. Yes.
Okay. So that would add. So you want to go down here, and then go back up.
Yeah.
As opposed to just.
Is that the side of the cliff we're supposed to be on?
Yeah, because you guys are up where this red arrow is, real quick, and you're trying to go basically to where the green, 16 or so miles away. And if you went down.
Yeah, I don't want to see a cliff. We want to. Yeah.
Okay, that will take probably a day's travel then,
Yes.
as opposed to half a day. You still cool with it?
What time is it right now?
It is about to be dusk.
Is it nighttime?
It's about to be nighttime, yes. I mean, you could just travel throughout the night and get there by morning.
But can we get a point of exhaustion for that?
Yeah,
we
but
just short rested.
I
should get it.
You would get a point of exhaustion, but if you just slept when you got there, it would be gone. Or if you long rested when you got there, it would be gone. But if you just got there and then decided to dip out, then you would have that point until that night.
I don't want to make this whole decision for the party. But my main points are I don't want to go the way that she said, and I also don't want us to get fucked in an ambush if we go all through the night. Those are my 2 concerns.
I think that's fair. I am good. I don't need a long rest. I say we just go ahead and go.
Okay, yeah, let's just go through the night and get there in the morning.
All right. So, who's gonna roll on the travel table for me first?
I'll roll.
All right, D6, please. 2.
2, sir.
Oh, right. So, as you guys got to the border pretty quickly to, to the exit to Glass Lake, and you actually were almost at the border when the time kind of like lined back up, and the border just kind of faded away. There was like a kind of a big rush of air in, it felt like, and then like a rush of air back out, and then it just feels like you're back in good old Hilgarth. Everything's not as lustrous as it was being in Glass Lake. The weather is still shitty and thunderstormy, because that's what it was when you guys left here and you first got into Glass Lake. But luckily for you, this whole kind of new addition of a good set of air kind of just disrupted the weather pattern a bunch. And you guys managed to keep dry for, excuse me, almost the entire first leg of the night. It only rained on you for just a little bit in the beginning, but the storm kind of just got pushed away from Glass Lake with that high pressure from the bubble that was there. And you're just kind of going down, following the edge. How are you, like, following close to the edge of the cliff, or are you just kind of like zoom into where it gets down and staying a bit in? Like, what's your approach? I haven't been talking on mute, have I?
No, you haven't.
Oh, God.
Merrick, what do you think? You're the one who wanted to have a special approach?
Oh, just like the way I was on mute. Just like the way we came in, and then hook over.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys it's relatively easy to follow the way you guys came in. You don't see you don't see any people. There was like a hunting band kind of chasing you. You managed to like hear them off in the distance. The party of 10 that were originally following you, well, I guess 9 since you killed one, were nowhere to be found. But you heard off to the east.
No hoof prints from.
Well, there were hoof prints, but you couldn't find them anywhere. For all you know, they may still be wandering around as sheep. But yeah, you managed to avoid all people relatively easily as you guys made it around to the bottom of this edge here. And as you get out of the forest and go down to this kind of corner, the cliff edge isn't too bad here. It's kind of just like a large hill. But are you guys gonna like chill out for a minute and break for like a quick like midnight snack?
Yeah,
think
I'll
so.
do that.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can.
Do you guys want to roleplay that? Like, what's going through? I mean, I think we did kind of go through what's going through all you guys' brains. But besides, like, the whole weight of the world on your guys' shoulders, how do you guys feel actually being in this kind of environment? I know you're all pretty far from home. I mean, Philo is like the closest to home, but like it's still. How are you all feeling? What's your headspace looking like?
Excited for new information, but also eager to understand sort of situation as a whole. You know, I think Torque is like particularly like he's excited because there's development and we're about to understand how it works, which is the best part for Torque. But this is a lot to keep up with. I mean, Philo had a good point earlier. These are some dramatic changes in Merrick. And Torque's a little bit on, just along for the ride at this point because he's seen everything. And this is like his, Bilbo Baggins adventure. Yeah, thinking it feels like maybe we don't have all the parts to this. The more Torque thinks about it, it feels like maybe we don't completely understand everything.
Merrick, how you feeling?
Merrick headspace can best described as a pawn on a chessboard that has been given self-awareness.
Sounds like a torturous fate.
But you're a pawn who's just becomes conscious, and you don't know the rules of chess. So you're trying to understand the rules of chess by watching the other pieces around you move.
Yo, that's a fucking good analogy, man.
That's profound.
Holy shit.
So like he doesn't know what's going on. He understands there's two sides that are battling out, and he doesn't know which way he's supposed to move, like on the board.
Philo?
We're camping out right now, right?
You're chilling for a minute.
Pretty much
yeah.
chilling out.
Yep, you're chilling,
we got a little
snacking.
fire going.
Maybe it is nighttime. So like maybe you have like a
Yeah.
hidden fire going.
Yeah. So she's laying on her back with her face looking towards the bedrock ridge, and kind of thinking that her life is never going to go back to the way it was. She's never going to be just chopping wood with her family again, going on these trips to Stag's Crossing, to the capital, to Ferrell Dune, to, as they used to do, to sell the wood. She's thinking about how it's probably not safe to even ever see her parents again because she's wanted. And she's just really taking a good look at that ridge. Just thinking about how it's never going to be the same.
It's kind of a bittersweet feeling.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys rest for a short time, and then you reckon it's about time to hit the road again, and you guys should make it there just before dawn. Who's going to roll on the travel table next for me?
I'll do it.
Yeah. You got it.
What am I rolling?
D6. Six, huh? Okay.
This is
All right, roll me a D20.
And that's your initiative.
All right. Cool. So you guys are traveling northwest. Are you staying like towards the edge of the ridge, or are you just like going to try and beeline it to the mountain and like hook around the mountain?
We're going to try to beeline it to the mountain and see if we can because I feel like that's the best way to get a view of the area without being seen.
Yeah, the Raven Queen told you kind of like to how to find like what specific landmarks to look for to find this alcove. Like there was a tree with like a three-pronged tree, a rock cropping that looked like an ogre, and then the second hole from the left was the cave. And so you figure you head towards like you start to make a beeline towards the mountain. And you guys, the moon now is high up in the sky, and it's kind of casting. It's pretty bright out tonight for how late it is. The sky cleared up pretty nicely now, when it was just a pretty gnarly storm before. And about halfway through your second leg of your trip, as you guys get towards the mountain, you guys like break for just like a minute or two by this small pond. And Philo, you're gonna look at you look in the pond and you see your reflection shining back in the pale moonlight. And after a moment, you're gonna turn to the rest of the party and divulge a secret about your past. What
I
is
like
that
this.
secret?
It's me right now?
It's you right now.
A secret about my past.
Oh yeah, you just gotta spill it out.
Gee, I don't know.
What did this moonlit pond by this mountain remind you of in your past? What little secret happened?
Give me a minute. Here, okay?
All right, I'll let you think. Got anything? Doesn't have to be crazy.
I know. I can't think of anything right now.
Did you ever steal something? Did you ever do anything naughty?
Yes. I used to travel to a certain point in the woods where I wasn't supposed to, past the ridge, where it's the first time I met. Well, not the first time I met, but I ended up kind of befriending some orcs at a young age, where we were not supposed to be around them. And it's actually where I started to use my axe more as a weapon than just hacking down trees, because they taught me to fight.
All right, so you tell the party this. Just like You just like were like, oh, I wasn't supposed to go hang out with the orcs, but I did. How does it?
And I believe, and eventually it was found out that I was doing this, and I was banished from being in that area.
Uh, Torque goes up to Philo and sort of pats her on the shoulder and says, "Now we've all made our mistakes, but they don't define us." And hands her a little tumbler of rock gnome gin.
It's not me who it affected. The orc woman and daughter who I befriended, they were punished for being around me. I've never seen them since. I saw them get dragged away.
So in a way, do you feel as though you have to atone? Is that where part of where your drive to do good comes from, Philo? Is out of guilt? This guilt will be a poison, and it will hang over you till your end of days.
It's my fault. They accepted me, and because of me, who knows? They were probably killed.
We can only hope that they weren't. That they were able to find safety and look for opportunities to balance the scales.
I hope so. I hope I see them again someday.
Philo, we've all had to leave things behind unsettled. When I left the Lower Gragon, there were a lot of people that depended on me. I was part of a community. There were services that I provided to people, and I left them all behind and went to Feral Dune. But if I hadn't have done that, then I wouldn't be here. And I have to believe that what we're doing here is what's most important, because I see it being the only hope for this world. So, under that logic, I have to assume that everything that we've done so far has been what we've needed to do to get to here, to this moment. So I guess...
But why us? Why are we here?
Because we are.
I'm not a hero.
But you were here. You hike the stairs to Thunderbellow Falls, and you march through the swamps next to Kalimdor, and we skirt the mountains, and we hide in the foothills, and we cross the rivers, and we travel the miles, and you have left everything behind and persisted where everyone else has given in or given up or not tried. So I think we're here because you are, and you are because of who you are and who Merrick is. I think there is good in both of you, and I'm just a curious old man who wants to understand how things work. And maybe there's a little good in me too. But sometimes it ain't your typical hero that sort of steps up to the occasion. sometimes it's normal people. And I don't think the good people ever really see themselves as good people from the inside because they're too close to it. They're never quite sure that they're doing the right thing. And I think that's something we got to navigate. We're playing with big things here. I mean, we could give the Raven Queen the chain of power, and like Merrick was saying, she could give it to Belusion and crack this chestnut wide open, and we could screw the whole world with one bad decision. Or she could be our only hope, and this could be what turns the tide, and we could foil Belusion's plot for good and ensure that this world never sees that power. And quite frankly, I don't know if we're going to know if it was the right decision until we've done it.
And all we can do now is try. Do you know what? We've made it this far, right?
We've made it pretty far. We may not be whole, and he holds up his peg leg. But it's been fun. And Merrick's got a sparkly eye.
He
That's
does.
pretty cool.
It's a little creepy.
I used to. Go ahead, Merrick.
Yeah. Like, I got a cool super eye. You got a peg leg.
Yeah, Philo, you're next. We have to amputate something.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I'm good. I think all these limbs have come in handy over.
Yo, speaking of, when's the last time you checked your foot?
My peg leg?
No, your foot.
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't checked in a while.
Right now.
I don't know. He wouldn't. I guess he wouldn't. He wouldn't necessarily think of it right now. Well, maybe we just talked about it.
Hey, Tor, how's that foot of yours doing, anyways? Like, you gonna buy us a nice steak dinner?
So, I mean, the good news is it doesn't really smell. For amputated limbs, as amputated limbs go, and he takes it out and sort of lobs it over at Merrick. And Craig, tell me what happens.
It is about a third goldified.
Wait, the whole foot's a third goldified?
Yep.
And that's more than it was previously.
Yes, it was only like a toe or two.
Gotcha.
Unless I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
No, that tracks. That tracks.
Okay.
So at this rate, in a fortnight, we could probably all retire.
I mean,
Mark,
it's a small
you're
foot.
Inquisitive guy, right?
Yep.
You like to learn how things work and test hypotheses and whatnot, right? That's kind of what your thing is.
That is correct. I do have a particular weakness for needing to understand how things work.
Okay, Merrick takes his dagger out of his bag and stabs the fleshy part of the foot. Well, let's just see if this also turns to gold.
Okay. Are you gonna leave it in there?
Oh hell yeah! It's like a seed.
I love it.
Oh, that's
Little-
interesting.
little tree.
Yeah,
It's
that's
right near the edge. So if it starts to crust over, then we can add like a long sword or Philo's axe or something to get some real moolah.
Torek pours out another cup of Rock No Jim and hands it to Merrick and says, "Now, Merrick, I like this new sober version of you. You got some good ideas. And there's a
Yeah,
sparkle in Torik's eye because he sees a potential business opportunity here. Never-ending gold.
I'm fond of a different kind of spirit now, if you know what I'm saying.
That was pretty good.
A higher power.
That's it.
Higher
He
power.
pours
That's a
he
character.
pours it out for the homies.
How big is your foot? Like 4 gold coins?
No, so we sorted this out. It was
Really?
like a children's size 8.
Yeah, we sorted this out.
So imagine that. And
If you don't know that, Google it.
Aren't you? So you have big feet for your size?
Oh yeah, you know what that means?
No.
Child
Big
size
socks.
8 shoes.
God, say shoes. That's heavy.
My socks are really cheap.
All right. So,
He's renowned in his village because he was one of the only people that could actually wear shoes because they fit him.
all right. So, you're starting to see the sun, like you're in like the pre-dawn state. You know, you're at that time of night where you like when you're partying, and then you look out a window and you're like, oh fuck. Well, might as well stay up the rest of the night. And you see off in the distance the very first landmark. So you reckon you'll be to the rendezvous spot within the half an hour. And you guys make it there without much hubbub and hoodoo. And as you roll up into the rendezvous spot, you see. At first, you don't notice it, but once you get in a little bit, you do notice there's like a small fire, a little bedroll. That the fire seems to be almost like smoldering. It's like almost out. And as you guys approach up, do you guys like just kind of like waltz on in there? Or are you like, what's the vibe?
I think Merrick said he wanted to go in sneakily, right?
Yeah, what do we perceive?
Perception me.
I think it's fair to say we are headed in sneakily.
Well, give me a perception check, Merrick. All right. Merrick, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So you, with your 15 perception, you can see there does seem to be a figure sleeping on the bedroll. He has a little bag next to him. Seems to be a male humanoid, roughly high 5s, low 6s. And next to him is a longbow and a sword.
Wait, you said he was a human?
I said he was humanoid.
Oh, humanoid.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's covered, you can't really see what race he is, but he's somewhere between upper 5s and lower 6s.
Let me check this one out, guys. And Merrick's gonna cast greater invisibility.
Okay. Love it. And then you just kind of like walk on in there?
Yeah.
I mean, being one of
Well,
the Raven
I'm
Queen's disciples,
being
we pretty much
quiet.
know what he is, right?
What'd you say, Merrick?
We don't. Well, one, we don't know that's the disciple, do we?
Well, Philo, what are you looking for? Do you tell Merrick what to look for? Because has Merrick ever seen a Shatterkai?
Yeah. I was in the Capitol.
Yeah,
I was
you were with
with the
Daniel and
Marines.
stuff, right? I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
so
was.
you are able to sneak up on this Shatterkai that's sleeping there.
Can I see the cave?
Yeah, it's just a kind of little small cave. There's nothing really of note inside of here. It's not like there's any like bears or traps or anything. It's just a little hidey
Is
hole.
there anything of note in his bag?
So you going through his bag?
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Roll me a stealth check.
Yeah, I like to see it. It is.
All right. So a few things are going to happen really quick.
I am invisible.
You're invisible, but you're not like quiet. Um. So you're like looting around in his bag. You see, with 10, I'll let you see a few things before shit pops off. You see, there's like a little pack of llama spread. There's some coinage. And that's actually what you like let a coin like fall from your hand and it like tinks with the other coins inside of there. There's also like a ring of keys. And when that makes a little rustle, you see this guy's eye open up. He turns his head quick as he grabs a knife. He doesn't. He sees like his bag like being like held open, so he like rolls backwards and throws some dust up, seeing an outline of you. He's gonna go throw. He's gonna throw a dagger at you.
Well, all right. Let me make this argument.
Yeah.
I cast greater invisibility. Things on my person become invisible. Once the dust hit me, it would be on my person and thus invisible.
You know that is a great argument.
I don't think you, because it wasn't on you when you did the spell.
But no, I can pick up objects and they become invisible.
Oh.
If I stole something from your pocket with greater invisibility, you wouldn't see it walking away from you. It's a 5th level spell slot. Like, I'm just, like, I get that I failed the stealth check, but, like, I shouldn't immediately get daggers.
No. Okay. So do you know who Jeremy Crawford is?
No.
He is one of the head rule masters in D&D. It is only equipment you are wearing. So if like something is thrown on you, like if I threw a vial of ink on you, you would be like covered in ink. The greater.
Right, let me. If my jacket has a stain on it while I'm wearing it, does the stain just stay visible?
Well, you're wearing it. If you were
Right,
stained
but once.
while you were invisible, that's a different story.
So what he said, like if he pickpocketed me while he had greater invisible, while he was invisible, the object that he stole from me would not be invisible. I
Correct.
would see it
Until
walking
he
away.
put it in his pocket,
Mm.
then being covered by an invisible thing.
Gotcha.
So if I. All right. Whatever.
Catch the dust that he throws at you and put it in your pocket.
I turn my cloak inside out.
Well, do you say anything? I mean, it's not like an invisible thief is like the most unheard of thing in the world. Like, just imagine for a second
well,
here.
I am-
If you were in a world that you knew people could cast invisibility, and you yourself were a disciple of one of the greater thieves slash things in the world, and you opened your eyes up to see your bag moving.
No, I did it. He threw a dagger at me.
Yeah, what's your AC? He has
Like
disadvantage because you're
12.
invisible. Do you have does an 11 hit?
No, my
Okay.
armor class is 14.
So, yeah, I mean, the dagger didn't hit you. But it definitely was close to your fucking invisible face.
Am I still dusty?
Yeah. You could, like, shake it off and
Dust off.
disappear, but, like, are we really doing this, or?
We're all right here, right?
Yeah.
I can see the Shatterkai guy?
Yeah, you saw him just, like,
Do
quick
I
roll.
recognize him?
Yes, you do. You absolutely do. I'm glad you asked that.
And who do I recognize him as?
His name is Siler.
Siler? The Siler?
Yeah, you say that out loud?
Yeah, absolutely. Siler?
So, like,
Is that you?
I imagine you say that, like, right after he threw the dagger, and he turns and he looks right at
And
you.
I'm invisible, right?
Wait, did
Because
you...
he casts greater invisibility, which makes all of us invisible, right?
Does greater invisibility do that, Garrett?
No.
I thought it did.
No, greater invisibility is like you can attack and shit while you're invisible.
Oh,
You are just
what's the
invisible
one
for a
that everyone
minute.
you touch? Like I cast it in Zeke's game that weekend. I thought that was greater invisibility. Okay, it's not. Yeah, I just go. Siler, is that you? And I drop my axe and just step towards him.
He looks at you confused for a minute. He's saying, hello?
Do you remember me? You were a prisoner at the Capitol. We saved you.
Right, yeah, your name is, the name isn't coming to me. It's,
Do you know who? You don't remember my name?
yeah, I remember your name.
Do you remember who I was with?
Yeah, you're what's-her-face with those people. Right? I'm sorry, let me, listen, alright.
What was the name of you?
Hold
What
on,
was
hold
the
on,
name
hold
of
on.
your Shadow Kai friend
Let's-
who was with us?
Let's start, first of all, let's start over. Because I just, like, woke up to someone
Okay.
trying to steal a bunch of shit from me. And I'm just a little spooked.
We're being cautious.
I get that.
The Raven Queen sent us here.
I would assume because it's kind of tough to find this little area. There's lots of holes in this mountain. The fact that you came into this one, that's probably makes sense. Yes, absolutely. You're like Bilbo, Bilo.
Philo, yes.
Yeah, yeah. There, Philo. Right.
Bilbo.
Right. Yeah, you were with.
You know, like the month of the year.
You were with Arun, right?
Yes,
Save me.
Arun. Is he here too?
No, Arun is not here. Sorry, lots happened since I've seen you, and
You could say that.
I honestly think my brain's just a little addled. You know, I haven't been right since that whole Capitol thing. But yes, I do remember you, and what a coincidence this is, huh? That my rescuer would be here.
It's unbelievable how this worked out, but it's great. I guess we're all in the right. What now? The Raven Queen sent us to see you. So what now? You were expecting us, right?
I was. Well, I mean, not you specifically, but I was expecting guests. I thought they were going to arrive, in the middle of the night. It was a little longer, so I was on watch, and then I, took a little nip nap. And well, that's I guess all it takes for you guys to like sneak right on up on me. But yes, I am supposed to take you guys up to the River Hills. There's this meeting spot that we're supposed to go to. She didn't really give me too many details on it. I'm just supposed to take you there. We are going to have to go a little quicker because we were supposed to leave soon, actually, in order to get there in time. But I guess you guys are probably... Have you been traveling all night?
Yeah, but I think we can keep going if we got to get there soon. I mean,
We just
I'm
have to get
so
there in...
glad you're here. What they were doing to you there must have been so horrible. I'm so glad we were able to get you out.
It was not a good time. I'll tell you that it was not a good time. I do not recommend it. But we have to rendezvous with my queen in 4 days' time. The dusk of day 4. I mean, that's actually in... I don't know. I think she counted like last night. Yeah, so it's only 3 dusks. 3 dusks. We have to meet her there.
It seems like he's being a little odd in the way he's talking. Can I do a
Insight check. You can.
insight check?
Absolutely. You can. Oh, yeah. Something's like... You could tell, like, something's going on with his brain, man. I don't know. Like, he's a little...
What was it, Siler?
Yeah, Siler. He's,
Siler, you seem a little broken up here a bit. Are you sure you know what we're supposed to do?
Yeah, like I said, I just woke up. I guess I'm just real surprised to see you, of all people here. It's a little weird,
Does that change anything? Why does it...
No, I just, didn't expect it. Like, it's like, have you ever, went to go, like, take a sip of, like, water or something, and then it's, like, tea? And you're just like, whoa, that's weird, right? That's, like what it was,
Siler?
Yeah.
Is this a trap?
It's what a trap.
Uh-oh.
You seem very sketched out.
Can I whisper my message to Philo?
Oh, yeah, you can.
Philo, we need to abort. This is not right.
I'm
The
gonna...
Raven Queen doesn't remember or doesn't have contact with Lucara and Massage, and Siler doesn't remember anything about what happened. This is not right. We need to regroup.
I'm gonna slowly walk towards Siler and say, the way you're acting and talking, it seems like you're fighting something because now it's me here. And I saved you, Siler.
You did.
I saved you from the torture you were being held captive to.
You definitely did. Listen. I'm gonna level with you. Arun's dead. And
What happened to him?
I don't know how to process it, man.
How did he die?
It was just me and him, after we got we got out of the capital and we escaped up to up north there. We just kind of went off on our own for a while. We had lost contact with our queen, and we were trying to find her again, man. And we have our methods of doing it, where we like just go harvest a couple feathers, lay them out the right way, and a little drop of our blood, and we normally have like if not a direct line to her, at least like someplace I could hit an answering machine up, Well, we were able to kind of catch some wind on where to go for her, and it was so stupid, man. It was my turn to keep watch, and I think that dungeon broke me, man. I don't think I'm a full person anymore. You can see he's like having a real tough time, like, and he's kind of just like kind of breaking up a little bit here. He's like,
Siler, you don't seem right.
I dozed off when I was supposed to be keeping watch. And we got ambushed. And they killed him.
And they left you alive?
I managed to take two of them out. But when I saw I tried to go back for his body, man. I tried to. But I was too... All I could do was hide. I'm so sorry, man. He breaks down.
Can I roll an insight check on his story again?
Oh yeah. As far as you could tell, he's telling the truth. He is like real fucking broke up about his best friend dying.
Siler, I'm really sorry to hear about Arun. He was my friend too. And we went through a lot together, but the way you are right now, I can't trust you.
As you say that to him, he just like has like 1,000-yard stare. He's like, nope. Nobody should trust me right now, man. All I do is get people killed.
I think you need to get help. You should talk to your queen about this.
I mean, you know what they do to worthless soldiers that can't fight anymore? That aren't... What am I gonna do, man, if I can't do this?
big world. You don't have to fight. There's a lot of other things you can do.
Have you seen me? What place is going to accept someone like me?
Maybe not yet, but soon enough. We'll get this figured out. And you'll be able to go wherever you want. But for now, maybe it's best you stay hidden.
But how are you going to know where to go?
That's a good question. We've made it this far, and I think we'll figure it out. Just with the way you're acting, it's hard for me to trust you right now.
I understand that.
You should stay at Glass Lake. It should be safe for you here.
All right, I guess so. I guess I need some time to process all this.
We've all been through a lot. You're people the most. You've seen a lot of your brothers die, especially with you in the capital. It's a lot to go through.
Can you roll a persuasion check for me?
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you advantage
Where'd
because
that
it's a
go?
good. I mean, I really do want to, but like, she did give me a direct order. I don't know, man. What if you show up there and I'm not there? And she knows like I'm still alive and I just didn't, and I disobeyed her. Like what's gonna happen to me, man? She's gonna find me and she'll discipline me.
We could tell her all we found when we got here was your body.
That won't work with her. It's impossible to lie to her.
Well then, I won't lie to her. I'll tell her exactly what I'm telling you. That I said it's for your best interest. And you're not okay right now.
Yeah, I think that argument's gonna do it to him. So he's gonna kind of like give you guys directions on where he was gonna lead you.
Okay.
Okay, and I think we're gonna leave it there for tonight.
All right.
Cool.
Good game, everybody.
That was a full session, not a short session.
I know, right? I'm sorry. Whoops. Shit happens, man. I didn't expect you guys to like just chat with each other for so long. I loved it.
So much good flavor and content right at the end.
Good stuff.